Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, colourful cartoon animals, and everyone else, welcome to Magic the Questioning, the card game quiz that asks the question, which core set will celebrate its 10-year anniversary in July of this year? That's an actual question coming up apparently, so I guess you've got time to Google it. Let's meet our contestants. How are you guys doing?
She says this week she has a question for you.
What?
She says she has a question for you, but you have to earn it.
I don't know what that means, but I'm a bit busy. Let's look at this week's categories. Cards on the Table is our first round with the questions are worth 1 point each. Time Walk is our second round with questions worth 2 points each. Look at My Rear is our third round where the questions are worth 3 points each. Ready Set Quiz is our fourth round where the questions are worth 4 points each. And Art Attack is our final category with a single question that doubles your score. At the end of the game, tally up your points and measure them against the point score chart so you can see how you rank and compare it with your friends and everyone else playing along at home and in the comments section. Will you come last but seeking? Maybe you're a contestant of perfection. Let's find out. So if you are playing along at home, get ready to write down your answers and let us know how you do in the comments below. And if you answered the question from the thumbnail correctly, you get to start the game with a bonus 4 points. That's 4 points right now if you knew that Ugin Eye of Storm's starting loyalty is 7, which is the same starting loyalty as his original Spirit Dragon incarnation, meaning Ugin Eye of Storm's starting loyalty is 7. Now for the rest of the quiz. Here we go, round 1, Cards on the Table, our general card knowledge round. Question 1. Swords to Plowshares is an instant that exiles a target creature for a single mana, of which colour? Swords to Plowshares is an instant that exiles a target creature for a single mana, of which colour? Question 2. Thought Vessel is a 2-mana artifact with the rules text, you have no maximum, what? Thought Vessel is a 2-mana artifact with the rules text, you have no maximum, what? Question 3. Serum Visions lets you draw a card and then scry 2. What is that card's colour? Serum Visions lets you draw a card and then scry 2. What is that card's colour? Question 4. Endless Ranks of the Dead is an enchantment that lets you create 2/2 black creature tokens of what type? Endless Ranks of the Dead is an enchantment that lets you create 2/2 black creature tokens of what type? That's the final question this round. You have until the music stops to submit your answers, and once that's over, we'll find out if you were right. Start the music. Okay, time's up. Let's get some answers. And remember, 1 point this round for each question you answered correctly. Question 1. Swords to Plowshares is an instant that exiles a target creature for a single mana of which colour? White. Swords to Plowshares is one of Magic's most enduring removal spells and it can be cast for a single mana, that's white. Question 2. Thought Vessel is a 2-mana artifact with the rules text, you have no maximum, what? Hand size. Thought Vessel is a commander staple that taps to add a mana and says you have no maximum hand size. Question 3. Serum Visions lets you draw a card and then scry 2. What is that card's colour? Blue. First seen in the set Fifth Dawn from the Mirrodin block, Serum Visions is blue. Question 4. Endless Ranks of the Dead is an enchantment that lets you create 2/2 black creature tokens of what type? Zombie. If you're familiar with horror movie tropes, Endless Ranks of the Dead's title is evocative of and creates zombies. Let's talk to our contestants. How did you guys do?
What set came after Arabian Nights?
Antiquities? Oh, well, have I earned it already? Worthy of the question now, am I? And speaking of, on to our second category, Time Walk, exploring important dates from Magic's history. Question 1. July of 2025 will mark the 10-year anniversary of which core set? July of 2025 will mark the 10-year anniversary of which core set? Question 2. Which remaster released first? Dominaria Remastered or Time Spiral Remastered? Which remaster released first? Dominaria Remastered or Time Spiral Remastered? Question 3. What was the last standard legal full set to be released in 2023? What was the last standard legal full set to be released in 2023? Question 4. Which set featuring Ravnica was Magic's 80th expansion? Which set featuring Ravnica was Magic's 80th expansion? You have until the music stops to get your answers down, and then we'll see the results. Time's up, let's get some answers, and this time they're worth 2 points. Question 1. July of 2025 will mark the 10-year anniversary of which core set? Magic Origins, released the 17th of July 2015, and is a core set I'd personally love to see a sequel to. We were looking for Magic Origins. Question 2. Which remaster released first, Dominaria Remastered or Time Spiral Remastered? Time Spiral Remastered. Dominaria Remastered released on the 13th of January 2023, but before that, on the 19th of March 2021, we had Time Spiral Remastered. Question 3. What was the last standard legal full set to be released in 2023? The Lost Caverns of Ixalan in November of that year, which may feel like a lifetime ago now, but I assure you it's still standard legal. That's The Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Question 4. Which set featuring Ravnica was Magic's 80th expansion? Ravnica Allegiance. Not officially part of a block, but also essentially part of the Guilds of Ravnica block. Released in January 2019, Magic's 80th expansion was Ravnica Allegiance. How do you guys feel that you're doing?
What set came after Arabian Nights?
Yes, I heard the question, Purple.
Well, do you know?
It was like 30 years ago, my dude.
She says that's why it's such a good question. Have a guess.
Antiquities. Why does she even want to know? Let me think about it, okay? Round 3, and the category is Look at My Rear, testing your knowledge of double-faced cards. Question 1. The back face of Polukranos Reborn has one additional creature type than that of its front face. What is it? The back face of Polukranos Reborn has one additional creature type than that of its front face. What is it? Question 2. The front face of Westvale Cult Leader will transform under which condition? The front face of Westvale Cult Leader will transform under which condition? Question 3. The back face of the Modern Horizons 3 instant Waterlogged Teaching does what when tapped? The back face of the Modern Horizons 3 instant Waterlogged Teachings does what when tapped? Question 4. The front face of the Omen Keel depicts Koldheim's God of the Voyage. What is that god's name? The front face of the Omen Keel depicts Koldheim's God of the Voyage. What is that god's name? That's the last question this round, so get ready to finish writing before we find out the answers. And that's time. Every correct answer is worth 3 points, so let's find out how you did after these messages. Hi, it's me, from the thing that you're watching, and I come with a dire warning. This quiz, and quite frankly my entire channel, is in danger. I love making these types of videos, but they don't do very well numbers-wise. They're clearly enjoyed by a very niche audience, usually less than 2,000 people. You, that's watching right now. I make these videos for you. But YouTube's monetization is not very rewarding, especially for smaller channels that make niche videos like mine. I do have some videos that do well, but they tend to be highly critical or controversial, as negativity capitalizing on the current discourse will always get a click from people who are outraged and are looking for more fuel for the fire. But those types don't subscribe and stick around, and I only want to put out a video like that if I truly care about the topic and believe I have something valid to say. I don't want to be a full-time controversy merchant just to afford rent, and instead I want to make silly videos where I build dumb decks or talk about magic-themed pancakes for your entertainment. I want to make quizzes. I want to entertain you. But I also have bills to pay, and so if my only means of doing that is to get more views, and thus better ad revenue from YouTube, then the first change I would need to make is to stop making the monthly video that's seemingly guaranteed to not get a lot of eyes on it. But I don't want to do that, and if you don't want me to do that either, then please consider supporting me on Patreon. If only half of you signed up at even the lowest tier, which is £1 or seemingly $1.50 US, then I would have enough to live on. And that's all I want. If you can afford it, then there are higher tiers that include things like weekly opinion polls where we discuss interesting aspects of the game, access to early audio-only versions of these episodes that you can listen to as a podcast. Most tiers get your name credited on screen at the end of my videos, And even that £1 $1.50 tier will come with access to my monthly behind the scenes blog, keeping you updated on the channel. I want to keep doing this, but I need your help. So if you're able to, and if you've found value in my work, then please consider helping to save these quizzes and quite possibly my entire channel by becoming a member of my Patreon, link in the description below. Thank you. Welcome back to Magic the Questioning, where we're about to find out the answers to round 3, where every correct answer is worth 3 points. Here we go. Question 1. The back face of Polukranos Reborn has one additional creature type than that of its front face. What is it? Phyrexian. Polukranos Reborn has the creature type Hydra, but during the multiversal invasion seen in March of the Machines, it gains the creature type Phyrexian. Question 2. The front face of Westvale Cult Leader will transform under which condition? At the beginning of your upkeep if you control 4 or more creatures. Tough one this because it's very specific, but the condition under which it transforms into Westvale Cult Leader is at the beginning of your upkeep if you control 4 or more creatures. Question 3. The back face of the Modern Horizons 3 instant Waterlogged Teachings does what when tapped? Add a blue or black mana. Waterlogged Teachings is an instant, but its back face is a land, which when tapped adds a blue or black mana. Question 4. The front face of the Omen Kill depicts Kaldheim's god of the voyage. What is that god's name? Cosima, much like the other Kaldheim gods which had one of their deific artifacts on their backside. The front face of the Omen Kill is the god of the voyage, Cosima. How many did you guys get right this round?
She says, answer her, you coward.
Okay.
What set
Came after Arabian Nights, yes I heard you. I don't know, Homelands, Onslaught, Tempest, Ice Age?
I can't believe you don't know.
I wasn't playing back then, I'm not a magic encyclopedia. Round 4 is Ready Set Quiz, all about the latest set, Tarkir Dragonstorm. Question 1. What's the name for the mechanic that's new to Dragonstorm that's associated with the Abzan? What is the name for the mechanic that's new to Dragonstorm that's associated with the Abzan? Question 2. Which 1-mana green human archer has 3 keyword abilities? Which 1-mana green human archer has 3 keyword abilities? Question 3. Which 5-color Tarkir Dragonstorm card includes the rules text, Dragons you control have indestructible? Which 5-color Tarkir Dragonstorm card includes the rules text, Dragons you control have indestructible? Question 4, and this next question was submitted by I Took This Name Not You, one of our Venus level or higher patrons. The art and flavor text of Smile at Death features which Mardu clan member? The art and flavor text of Smile at Death features which Mardu clan member? Okay, the time's about to start again, so I hope you have all of your answers because this is the last point scoring round. Here we go. Time's up, and remember, for this round, correct answers are worth 4 points. Here we go. Question 1. What is the name for the mechanic that's new to Dragonstorm that's associated with the Abzan? Endure. Apparently Jeskai get Flurry, Sultai Renew, Mardu Mobilize, Tima Harmonize, and the Abzan get Endure. Question 2. Which 1-mana green human archer has 3 keyword abilities? Dragon Sniper. Dear Lord, it's 1 mana and it has 3 keyword abilities, 2 of which are Vigilance and Death Touch. Oh, the answer is Dragon Sniper. Question 3. Which 5-color Tarkir Dragonstorm card includes the rules text, Dragons you control have indestructible? Call the Spirit Dragons. This enchantment features art that I believe was one of the first pieces we saw previewed for the set. Either way, we were looking for Call the Spirit Dragons. Question 4. The art and flavor text of Smile at Death features which Mardu clan member? Alesha, a reference to her Fate Reforged card which used the name as its epithet. Smile at Death depicts Alesha. Thank you again to I Took This Name Not You for the submission. You can submit your own questions for the quiz if you join my Patreon at the Venus tier or higher. Are you guys excited for the bonus round where you can double your points?
So do you want to know the answer?
Antiquities. God, are we still on this? Tell me in a bit, I'm clearly doing something. Round 5 is Art Attack, where we slowly reveal a picture to you, and if you can name what card uses that picture as its art before the music stops, then you double your points and you double your score. So to be clear, see some artwork and name that card for double points. I hope you're ready, because here we go! And that's time. Did you get it right? Well, if you said this was the art for the card Kargan Dragon Rider, which you may think is from Tarkir, but those floating rocks will tell you it's actually depicting Zendikar, then you'll have just doubled your score. So now the question is, how did you do? Count up your score and let us know in the comments below. Well guys, how do you think you did?
She says the answer was antiquities.
Oh man, who's gonna know that? Yeah, there's no way I could have got that right. Well, that's the end of the show. Join us again next time for another episode of Magic: The Questioning. Thank you to everyone who supports the show, like Eggboy the Particle that permeates all existence, Wan Paco Jozu, Miss Murder, a random Patreon, and the rest of my patrons whose names are on screen now. A shout out again to I Took This Name Not You for submitting a question, and if you'd like to submit a quiz question to the show, you can via my Patreon, as it's one of my Venus tier award perks. I'd also like to give an extra special thank you to Brett Canny for providing the music for the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe and set your notification bell to all so you can be updated when our next episode airs. And until then, from all of us here in the studio, we wish you happy quizzing and we will see you next time. Freeze frame.